Hello and welcome to another video about cryptocurrency. Today I'd like to talk about XRP, do a technical analysis, a simple one, just to give you an idea where we are with the prices and the price action so you can make some sense out of it. Reason I do this, even though I normally focus on Cardano and maybe Algorand, Bitcoin, is because someone requested it actually. I think when I did the live stream or in the comments, there was some interest for a XRP technical analysis, and we are going to take a look into what the XRP price is currently doing for everybody who would like to understand a little bit more about that. So let's just jump right into it. We are currently here on the daily chart of XRP, and we can see that we had here in May our high on the this was April. On the 12th of April we had our high here of 196. That's the 52-week high, and then we obviously dropped, and now we are in this, or towards the end of this consolidation actually. Now we are again in an uptrend. What we can see that most cryptos made this move. Most cryptocurrencies made this move. Some, like Cardano, are already up here. Some are just here, and some are only here, like Algorand. So, however, this is a move that most cryptocurrencies made. So we can see this really shakeout period where weak hands were shaken out, and then suddenly institutions and other investors came in again, and we're now in this upward momentum. So what we can, I just want to show you, how we really see this shift in momentum. So we have really seen throughout this period really a steeper downtrend, right? So I just didn't want to draw this line, but we saw this steep downtrend, really this radical, basically breakdown of the market. Then still a less steep sell-off, then pretty much a neutral, we had still a lot of red candles, but the red candles became smaller, and that is really crucial, something that I really like to watch out for generally when it comes to price action and momentum. And if you want to learn technical analysis as well, I recommend you pay particular attention to the size of the candles, because what you can critically see here on the daily chart is that when we were really up here, a lot of volatility, we were going up, then we were going down and up again. There was a lot of interest, and the green candles were really, really dominant here, yeah. And then we saw some huge red candles. So these were really rapid price moves. So then we had a huge sell-off, and the candles were pretty much always quite big. And then when we started to get a less steep downtrend, the candles, you can see the candles generally, also the green candles, but also red candles, they became smaller and smaller. Because the sellers got less interested. And then we basically came here to something like a halt, where we pretty much had a horizontal trend line. And you can see that really, even here still, the red candles became smaller and smaller. Here and there a few green candles, but still a little bit of a sell-off or drop in price. But you can clearly see that the sellers really saw less and less interest, and then suddenly you can see the prices started to go up again, and you can see green candles here, and they became larger and larger, and then you can see how they became bigger and bigger. And then we had this decision point up here where we had just a small green candle. So you can clearly see that this candle was really only a very small body, but you had a wick up there and a wick down there, which just shows that there is not really another push to the upside. So the sellers were quite strong, and then we saw another move to the downside. So what we see now is that we are getting closer to this latest trend line, which is steeper than the previous one, which is great. Now, no idea if this is actually not let's say a confirmed trend line. I wouldn't call it like that, because you normally need 3 touches. But I've put it on here just to show you the change in momentum. And you can also clearly see, very beautiful actually, when the price broke through the 200-day moving average, which is the yellow line here, we really saw this was a buy signal. And at this point here, the buyers really stepped in. I think that was really like the momentum that XRP needed to shoot off. And quite naturally, we have this trend line here now, and we can see that we moved towards, and already this candle today, actually it touched it, but it provided already support. So you can clearly see that. And now obviously we moved along this trend line, we overextended here, and naturally we have to come back to this trend line. And what we can also see, a very positive sign here, is that we had this 20-day moving average, the blue line, crossing both over the 50 and the 200, two bullish crosses. What will happen in the next few days is that if this probably continues, that the 50-day moving average is crossing above the 200-day moving average. And these are very bullish signs. That could be another buy signal, okay? And I just want to just really show you that. And also when here the 20-day moving average went above the 200-day moving average, we had a huge green candles. These are really some very bullish signals that we've already seen in some other cryptos, but XRP is a bit later. So there is still some potential there. And the last time we saw really these bullish, this bullish crossover is here. That was beginning of the year in February, and after that we saw our high. So just wanted to point you towards that, and we are clearly in an uptrend because all three moving averages are going up, especially the 200-day moving average, and we've seen these bullish crossovers. In addition to that, we have, together with this positive price action, we've gained momentum. We've actually moved up into the overbought territory, and naturally, guys, we have to have a small sell-off here or a drop in price because we have to get out of this overbought territory. At the moment, that is for me nothing really to worry about because it is not a bullish divergence, which is a really bearish sign. No, what we have is actually the price is going down purely because we were overextended here, and then of course also the RSI goes down as well. It would be different if we had a price going up and the RSI going down. That wouldn't be necessarily a good sign because that is just bearish. But here I think that is still, this would have been losing momentum. Whereas here on the RSI we are losing momentum as well. But the explanation for me is clear. You always need to understand, the story that the price action is telling us. And for me here, the story is simply that we were just overextended purely because of these positive buy signals down here, when the price actually managed to break through this 200-day moving average, and also when we had this bullish crossover of the moving averages, and then of course naturally we got overextended. Now we see a consolidation that might be over now that we've hit this trend line. Yeah, so we might now see prices going up again. Of course that depends on Bitcoin as well, but it really shows the potential of this cryptocurrency still. I think it is still held down by the SEC court case or lawsuit. But if you know who Ripple actually cooperate with and the foundations that really stand behind it and cooperate through other projects with Ripple, and I'm talking about, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, for example, and, these are huge. These are really the elite of the world finance, and, it is something to be aware of. And that's why I'm extremely bullish on XRP. And for me, it's a clear uptrend, and I'm not worried until I see something like that, where we then, for example, see price action slow down and we potentially get to something like that. Then it is when I start to get worried. At the moment, no need to worry for me because the price action is getting, or the trend is getting steeper and steeper. So for me, looking all really nice and good. And this could be a next buy signal here when the 50-day moving average is actually crossing above the 200-day moving average. I need to say this is not financial advice, yeah? So this is what I can see on the charts, and I think everybody can see that clearly. And we can see we've got some support and resistance lines, surely. For me, one possible where we've gone through that, we are pretty much here. So I think, we can actually take a look if we take the the trend-based FIB extension, and we're just taking a look where we could land, and if we can see something lining up. So we go to the last high, go down to where we started. At least that's how I do it. That has always worked for me quite well, actually. So if I go down to where I started, we pretty much, and that's actually quite interesting, we really see very well that on this FIB extension here, I just need to go to that. So that we are actually, that this lines up pretty well. So we can see that currently the support level is the 0.786 Fibonacci. So very nice, very nice. This works out very nice, and it actually touches this red trend line which we've drawn. So for me, that is a really good support level here, and we've been trading actually in this channel here now. So that is very interesting as well. For me, the next levels are then like 174 That's pretty much the next level that the Fib extension gives us. The Fibonacci extension levels 174, and let's just see where this lines up with any resistance and support levels here on the Cardano, on the chart here. So if we just go like that, we can see that this is not exactly, but I would say, you know, it's close enough to some of these highs here, and it doesn't line up perfectly, but this is sort of a range, and it's never very accurate 100%, but we can see this is definitely a really important support level or resistance level, first of all, around 165. Yeah, so we've got 174 here on the Fibonacci, but yeah, it's certainly here, this one where we had previous highs and where we couldn't get through, where we struggled. So I think that is one of the next main support levels. As you can see here, there might be smaller ones, you know, from previous price action, like that one here, which is the 138, because we have within here we have various support and resistance levels. But for me, generally the trend is really bullish, and we need to expect that we go up here, I think, especially because of this bullish crossover which is going to happen soon. Before we finish, could have a look at what the MACD is doing, because the bullish crossover on the MACD, generally many people understand that as a buy signal. So let's take a look. On the daily, we can actually see currently a bearish crossover of the MACD. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to mean a lot, because we had a few bearish crossovers here as well. I believe if we now bounce off this support level here, we should get into the green zone again. But we've been for a while now actually in the green zone. And this should continue really, I think. So it's always important to be aware of any of these fake outs. But let's take a look at the weekly. This is for me sometimes even more important. And here you can clearly see the long-term trend. So just a couple of weeks ago, we've actually had a bullish crossover here on the MACD. And it seems to carry on. Yeah, the lines get further apart from each other. So for me, that confirms that we're definitely here in an uptrend. And this was at the time probably really a buy signal, and we're currently just in bullish momentum. So hopefully you liked that video. Hopefully that was a good update of the XRP price. Where do I see XRP? Well, I think it could really get to, it all depends on the lawsuit, but I assume there will be a settlement or so, and you know, it's really hard to say, but I think something above $2 for this year anyway. So I'd rather go to 350 maybe this year. I think Cardano XRP could really gain a lot of momentum as soon as there is a settlement, but the timing needs to be good. You know, if the whole market is down, you won't see it that much, but I think this could really boost the price. So my personal target is like 350 for this year. Nothing too crazy. Always try to, it is actually crazy if you compare it to stocks and shares, but in the crypto world it doesn't sound that crazy. So I always try to not overhype something, try to be a serious channel here. Hopefully you appreciate that. I know you do. And if you like the video, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.